Okay. So welcome everyone. Nice to have you here. So today we have a question from one of the students, Mark. So he asks, "Hi Tobi, I wondered if we could hear a talk on addiction and how that manifests into different vehicles, drugs, food, sex, etc., and where that addiction is likely to arise from. And once addiction kicks in, how to stop the cravings and avoiding attachment and following through with the addiction vehicle. Thank you." Okay. So what would it be that makes us addict to something? Whether it's alcohol, food, drugs, whatever it is. Why do we stick to something like excessively? What's the cause of this?
Escapism.
Escapism, maybe, yes. So again, the primary cause would be not knowing oneself, not really seeing oneself, not being fully aware. So in such an environment where there is no self-awareness, addictions can thrive, unhealthy habits can thrive, because we don't see deeply. We're not in the moment, we are creating concepts and we stick to these concepts, to these ideas, and out of that we form a habit, and that habit eventually becomes very dominating in our lives. So it's very important to bring mindfulness into that, and knowing clearly what kind of feelings arise when, and strengthening that mindfulness also. For many people also, mindfulness is not strong at all. It doesn't have any power to it. So it cannot really break through the usual addictions and problems that we experience, like emotional problems or anxiety, depression, whatever it is. Because mindfulness lacks power. Our mind has no power. So that's one reason why we addict to things that are external sources, like, for example, food and so forth. There's an external thing. It is stuff of the senses, like stuff of the tongue, the ears, social media, the eyes, the intellect. We stick to things because there is this kind of happiness that arises from it. When you smoke a cigarette or you eat something, then you feel good. And it's that what we're really after. This good sensation, the good feeling, positive sensation. And so that we learn quickly from that. If you do something and then there is this kind of positive feedback, then you want it again. And then the more you do it, the less feedback you get, so that you need to increase the activity. You need to eat more or drink more or entertain more. To watch more porn or whatever it is that people get addicted to. Because eventually things fade. It's kind of the same thing. We do it over and over again, and it doesn't stimulate so much anymore. So we need more. That's why addictions usually increase over time. This attitude of consuming something for the sake of attaining a pleasurable state, good self-esteem, feeling better about yourself for a short while, feeling like a short sense of satisfaction or this kind of thing. We are after that, and all of us are after that. For some people is, as you said, an escapism is this kind of, the more we get involved in addictions, the less we see ourselves, and the less we have to see ourselves. It kind of keeps us busy in a way. Me and my addiction. It's that story that goes on all the time, and that kind of helps me to avoid myself on some level. I don't have to see really what's going on because I'm so busy being addicted. But all these causes left aside, I think we're all different beings, all different human beings. So there's different various reasons for everyone why they get addicted. Some reasons in childhood, some reasons the circumstances and what happened to people. I think what every living being has this wish, this desire to experience more happiness, more joy, more comfort, and less pain, less suffering. Because that's why we generally do whatever we do. Now, when it comes to overcoming an addiction, I think it's also maybe interesting to go a little bit into the idea of being addicted to trouble, of being addicted to suffering, actually. Being addicted to our own pain. So sometimes it's also something that keeps an addiction going, like the addiction to failure, for example. That's very popular. I know that one very well, to be addicted to failure. And how does that manifest? How do I get my fix? Well, I set a goal that is currently impossible for me to reach. Then I try really hard for a little while to reach it, and then I fail. And then I feel really bad about myself after I have failed. Oh man, I can still do it. Still impossible for me to do this. Like, I want to wake up every day at 5 a.m. Feels very motivating, feels like, yeah, I have something to do. Every morning, 5 a.m. I get up, I meditate, I do whatever I need to do my practice. And then I go for a while, and then there comes that one day or that 2 days in a row where I wake up with a headache and I cannot do it. I have to stay in bed, sleep more. Or some excuse comes up like, oh yeah, yesterday I didn't get any sleep, so I need to recover a little bit more, so I won't get up at 5. And then I feel really bad about myself. Once I wake up like at 8 or something like this, I'm like, oh man, I could have gotten up at 5 actually. It wasn't that bad. And so I feel bad about myself. And I think that's what for most people addiction is in a way really about. There's many clever ways of getting yourself into trouble. And subconsciously, we're all doing it all the time, getting ourselves in some trouble in life. If there is no problem, we're often like kind of subconsciously seeking for some trouble, seeking for some problem. Like just sitting around in your room quietly, not doing anything. Try. Lock your door, be quiet in your room, unless you have some experience with meditation, and quickly you will search for something to create excitement. Because something is revealed. It's kind of unbearable for many to stay just with themselves. Not doing much, just looking, exploring, seeing what's really going on inside of myself. Am I busy fault finding? Is my mind critical? Am I feeling superior, inferior? Do I feel I know? Do I feel I don't know nothing? And all these kind of things that come up that we don't really know what to do with. It's unpleasant, so we try to avoid it. and searching some busyness. And very often that kind of searching some busyness gets us into trouble, into problems. There's some people, for example, they constantly get into bad relationships. They always seem to find exactly the right person, and the relationship is repeating the exact same pattern as the last one. Many people complain about this. There's some people who end up in abusive relationships over and over and over again. They escape from the abusive relationship, they come into another one, and in the beginning it looks all great and fantastic, only to turn out a few months later, it's the same thing. Same type of guy, same type of problem. Why does that happen all the time? Why do we get ourselves subconsciously in these kind of situations all the time? Why do we match up exactly with those people who tend to abuse us all the time? Why do they keep reappearing in our life? If you compare your life a little bit with a dream, like it says in that song, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. If you feel like life is a bit like a dream, then people and circumstances and things do appear to you because you can say they resonate with you. They go into resonance with you. There's some aspect inside of you that resonates with whatever aspect that appears in your life, whatever person that appears in your life. Well, let's say it's a very negative person, and that person resonates with a very negative aspect inside of yourself. Otherwise, such an encounter could not happen. But this encounter happens for you. In a way you can say, maybe like a little bit like a teaching. If you can see it that way. It can show you something about yourself. What are you subconsciously searching? Some people, they search abuse without even knowing it. They feel like, oh, I just want to get out of this. But there's some aspect inside of them. It's almost like these kind of background apps in your phone. They consume battery power. They run in the background. You don't know they're running. Location services and stuff like that. You don't know it's even running. But it is. Like the subconscious attitudes are like this also. They kind of form your life around you. Like in a dream, there is life that is formed around you by your mind. And that there is also someone formed that interacts with that apparent life outside. That could well be a dream right now. And the mind is producing both what is interacted with and the one that interacts. Both is just the mind. In our day-to-day life, it's very similar. Things that appear to you, people that appear to you, addictions that appear to you, they appear to you because something resonates with it. So it's always a good idea, I think, to ask yourself, what are you really after? Are you really after stopping an addiction? What would happen if you would stop an addiction? A very important aspect of yourself would be left without resonance. And that's why we fall back. That's why it's often scary, to give up something that is actually hurtful. We return to it again. Why would we do it if we truly know it's hurtful? Because it's the hurt we are searching. We're searching for the pain. We're searching for the trouble. There's something in you, and in some spiritual traditions it's called the pain body. Eckhart Tolle calls it the pain body, for example. In some Tibetan tradition it's also called a body of suffering, a body of pain. That is having its own life. Like a dream character has its own life. Even if you're lucid in a dream and you're interacting with a dream character, asking them, who are you? What are you doing? You are in my dream. You can tell someone in your dream, do you know? Actually, I'm dreaming this, and you are in my dream. And the character will say, nope, you're in mine. Unexpected answers. There's almost like there's some aspect inside of ourselves that runs its own show, runs its own program. Addiction is just one of those aspects. And in a lot of cases, that addiction pattern is searching the reward that is coming at the end. And the reward is, I failed again. And so we are addicted to that failure. In my case, for example, I'm addicted to that failing all the time. So I'm searching ways of how I could make myself fail. And it doesn't appear to me like that. It appears like, hey, that's a great thing I could do right now. Like get up every day at 5 a.m. for the rest of my life. That seems like a fantastic idea. I'm going to do 2 hours of meditation every morning, regardless of having headache or sickness. I'm going to pull this through. There it is. And that serves its own purpose to come to an end in which I feel bad about myself. And that's what I'm searching. This is, I call it the home zone. This is what I know as home. Most people are continuously searching their entire life what they know from their home, their physical homes. They search something that is similar in terms of feeling, how you felt in your home. You're searching it again. My grandmother used to say, you kill me with your bad grades and you're putting me down 6 feet under because of your bad grades. You will be the one that is killing me. She said stuff like that. She didn't know what she was saying. I can forgive her with this, but it has an impact. So now I write a mail to someone and there's no answer coming back. And there is something inside of me that goes like, yeah, that was surely because I messed up. That person doesn't like me anymore. That's why they don't answer. Something like that. It's these kind of patterns. So what are you really searching with your addiction? What is it really? I would have a look at that. Like really take a week and say, okay, now this week I'm going to follow through with my addiction. Like let's say you have an addiction to food, so you eat, or an addiction to exercise. Well, how do you feel afterwards? When you feel like, no, I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And what is it inside of you that says, I shouldn't be doing this? Maybe impossible things. I shouldn't be unhealthy. I shouldn't crave food. I should be free from this and that. What is this one? It's almost like the pattern inside of me that says, Tobi, you've got to get up at 5 a.m. and be motivated and full of zeal and like really get a grip on your life and get it all going and be happy, smile at yourself in the mirror every morning. Be like this, what is that? If I really follow that and look honestly at this, it's a deep sense of dissatisfaction with myself, a deep sense of self-hate, self-loathing. I have to perform, I have to get better, I have to outperform myself, I have to attract wealth and attract well-being and do this and do that. And what is behind that? Why are you so active? Why all that stuff? I have to get rid of all of my addictions because what I really want to say is I need to be a perfect being. And what that really says is the way I am really sucks. I'm not comfortable in my skin. Some of the people who are outperforming everyone else, there's some people who are most uncomfortable within themselves. Once they are alone by themselves, quiet. Someone tells them, don't do anything, just like I did today in meditation. It's not about doing anything, just be here. Just open up to the way it is. It's almost impossible. What does it mean, not doing anything? But I'm meditating. And then we start watching our breath. We immediately perform. We're going to performance mode immediately. It's impossible to just leave things alone. That also is a root of addiction. This sense of, no, the way I am is not good enough. I need to get rid of this, and I need to fix that, and that is not good enough, and I'm addicted to this, and I'm addicted to that. That's just another addiction. I'm really escaping myself again and again. And when will I ever be perfect? So that I can like myself, finally. Many times when I'm speaking here, then there's this sense of, I shouldn't have said that, or, this is kind of the personality that comes up, saying, I shouldn't be like that. That wasn't a good joke. Next time I need to tell a better joke. It's very tense. This personality is very tense. It kind of needs to perform all the time. It needs to kind of Photoshop itself into some sort of being that it thinks it needs to be. So for the second part this evening, now what to do with this? How to get out of addictions and how to... I think it's the question that Mark asked. Let me have a look again. And once addiction kicks in, how to stop the cravings and avoiding attachment. I think that's a very interesting way of formulating it. Once addiction kicks in, now if you visualize that you're in your room, you're just sitting there, and suddenly addiction kicks in. Bam! The door is kicked open and the addiction is just storming into the room. And what does it do? It kicks in. It's disrupting you. It's disturbing. It shouldn't kick in. Normal people ring the bell. But addiction kicks in. Bam! It's a disturbance. So here is the attitude. It's hidden in this just very simple thing. Once addiction kicks in, welcome it. Leave it alone. Let it do what it needs to do. You don't follow it. You don't push it. That is the ultimate method. You notice the craving as it arises and shakes you up. I really want to do this now. But you don't act on it. And you're not pushing it out. You're being with it. This is what is healing. Allowing it into your consciousness. And then giving it space. And then initially you'll feel this tendency to contract around it. It's even physically, you can feel that your muscles are contracting around the area in your body where you feel the craving. Like, I really need to smoke right now. And you feel that somewhere in your body. And then at the same time when you feel that this urge, there's a sense of contracting, becoming tense. Energetically, even with your muscles you can feel it. With your skin you can feel it. Your bones, your structure, everything kind of folds in. Now here is where you give space. So you relax around the craving. Give it space. Receive it with friendliness, warmth, kindness. Like you would receive a good old friend that you didn't see for a long time. If that good old friend kicks in your door, you're still okay. Just kicked in your door, it's like, what's up, dude? Why do you kick in my door? But you're not that aggressive anymore. You see immediately, it's a good old friend. So, okay, no big deal, no big worry. It's fine. So you can relax a bit more. So receiving whatever there is, whatever feelings that come up, and it takes training, and it takes a lot of training. And training takes a lot of commitment and discipline. Otherwise, it doesn't work. You have to make the work to sit down every day and go through the routine, same thing, every day, morning, evening. And then in between you want to practice. Cultivate mindfulness. Make it strong. Sharpen it. So that eventually you can give space to even very strong cravings. And you can stay with them. And the mind will go, this is killing me, just do it, just eat. And it will scream and yell. But you just keep giving it more and more space. And it slowly becomes weaker, these kind of cravings, these very strong urges, which are physically painful. They weaken in there. Now this would be the approach with meditation. See, you're receiving your addiction like I received the cat. Like this. Very kind, very friendly, warm. And then the cat won't stay. It'll move on. It's like this, like things come and go. They enter your space. Don't contract around it. Stay spacious. And it requires this kind of patience and joyful effort, discipline, all that it is required. You need to learn to be still in the storm. That's what you can do with meditation. Now, I'm not saying that this works if you are a case of being completely addicted to heroin and you're living on the streets and life is just dreadful. You have to do other things that are more drastic first. In that case, there might be need for medication and all that, the protocols that are already set up and working well. But aside, this will help a great deal, learning to be still physically, and then giving the addiction space, and the expression of that addiction, giving it space. Sitting with it. Quietly. In the next part of the sentence, he says how to stop the cravings and avoiding attachment and following through with the addiction vehicle. Stop the cravings. Avoid attachment. There's no need to stop anything. The work is not in stopping. The work is in seeing, in knowing, and in releasing, allowing. There's a great way of actually exercising this kind of strength, this inner strength. Just sit still. And practice until you can sit still for an hour. Like really still. And in that still sitting, all this kind of pain comes up and all these emotions come up. Like move, you need to move. You're ruining your body, and fear and all that kind of stuff. It will come up. And stay calm in it. Relax through it. As you breathe out, relax through it. Give it all space. Allow that to be there. Allow the storm to blow through you. It brings you a bit closer to realizing that you're more like the sky. You're not like a tree that's in the way of the wind. Like, I'm going to resist that wind. I'm going to stop that wind. I'm going to avoid that wind. You can't. The wind is always stronger than you. Cravings are stronger than you. Attachment is stronger than you. If you are the one that is resisting. You can only resist for that long. Because craving won't give in, and attachment won't give in. They will keep pushing relentlessly. It doesn't matter how long for them. It doesn't matter. You just keep coming back. You eliminate one particular craving, another one comes up. It has many faces. So the only way is to realize your true kind of being, which is more open, spacious, like the sky. This is for the sake of pointing. Please don't take that as a scholar, what I'm saying right now. Be consciousness. Don't even wonder about what is the definition of consciousness, all that stuff. Be consciousness. Be awareness. Now, here. Be present. And the stuff that arises and passes, none of that is your business. It is liberating itself. It is healing itself. All you need to do is give it a space to do so. That's all it takes. Learning to be still. Then another thing that comes to mind. Thinking. There's probably, for Mark, a lot of planning around addiction, a lot of, how do you call it when you are scheming, a lot of scheming around it. Like, how do I get rid of? How can I finally stop? How can I break through? What plans should I devise next? What step to take in order to? That is all thinking. And that is a huge, it adds so much power to addictions. It adds so much power to being restless in the mind. A restless mind doesn't get addicted. A restless mind gets addicted, but a well-rested mind doesn't get addicted because there's happiness in it. It doesn't feel a sense of lack. The lack arises from movement, a sense of lack, feeling like, yeah, I need something. It comes from thinking, it comes from all these kind of mental motions that arise, waves on the surface of the mind. So also train stillness in the mind, taming the mind, really going through the meditative exercises and doing them properly. That's what makes all the difference. I can only repeat that again and again. And this is then up to you, right? You have to go home and then you have to live your life, and it's you that needs to put it into practice and basically eat the advice. It's a bit like a pharmacy here. And I'm handing out medicine. I'm saying, take that stuff, it's good, you know. It doesn't do any good if you take the medicine and you go home and you put it in the drawer, or you put it somewhere on an altar and you pray to it. Like you light candles in front of it or something like this. Having a picture of your doctor and lighting a candle in front of it, it's nice, it's cute. But you want to eat the medicine. And that means we have to find the commitment in ourselves, to the wish, the desire to actually sit and to understand the mind, because no matter what problems in your life, it all comes from the mind. No matter what problem in the world, it all comes from the mind, without exception. The body doesn't create any trouble. The hand doesn't suddenly think, I need to cause trouble. It's the mind. So if you understand the mind properly, and that comes through meditation, good practice, commitment, regularity, then you understand addictions. Look at your mind and you will understand. So that's pretty much it. That's all that comes to mind for today. It's a big topic again.